I am 2 seconds in.
Same.
All right. All right, guys. Once again, like always, we got to start off by thanking our sponsors, which today that is nobody. So thank you to them for the two in attendance and for the dozens that are going to watch this in the future. This is the 1984 Ghostbusters. I mean, sci-fi horror
Oh,
comedy masterpiece.
crap. I put in the wrong one.
No, you didn't. This is directed by Ivan Reitman, I believe. Sigourney Weaver, obviously. Oh God, what's the guy's name?
Ernie Hudson, Dan
Thank you. I
Aykroyd,
don't know
Bill
why.
Murray.
Why do I always want to say Ernie? I always want to call him something else. I can't remember. Anyway, I always want to call him Ed O'Neill. I don't know why. Ernie Hudson, Ed O'Neill. I don't know if it's like a, what do they call that when you move the words around and it makes the other words? I don't know. I always mess his name
Hello?
up. Blah, blah, blah. Right.
Hello?
Right. Obviously, Dan Aykroyd, written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, starring them as well, and of course the legend Bill Murray. So yeah, here we go. And Rick Moranis. We don't want to forget about Rick Moranis. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, engage. Did you know that they
Also,
originally wanted John Candy in the role of Rick Moranis? Rick Moranis'
yes.
role? That's wild.
Yep. And I also know about they wanted Eddie Murphy.
Yep,
And they did Ernie Hudson dirty on this movie.
they
Like
did. Well, even on this. Look,
really bad.
do you see his name? No, you don't.
They screwed him out of the shots. It's messed up how bad they royally screwed him. And my brother did a research and quick review on the original Ghostbusters because this is one of mine and his like all-time favorites. We grew up watching this. This is our bread and butter. And the more you dig into the Ernie Hudson situation, it is absolutely astounding that he still is okay working with these people. I would have been like, man, no, I'm out. I'm
Well,
done.
it's a different
But
time.
he brought up the point, it put bread on the table. Not enough, but it put some.
Right. Well, it's a different time. You're still famous. You're still in a big movie. I don't know if I don't remember Ernie Hudson doing a whole lot before this. So, I mean, he took the place of Eddie Murphy. You got to feel good about that. But they wouldn't have played Eddie Murphy dirty.
Oh no, they wouldn't have done that to Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy would have made sure this film never saw the light of day if they
Right.
tried to do that.
Yeah.
But it's
But he definitely would have been in
and
the sequel.
and then all the drama that happened, why the sequel took a minute and why we never got three, and then why three became a video game, and then instead of that we got a reimagining. It's insane that they literally waited. This is a whole lot of conversation. Literally waited for
Right.
Harold Ramis to die to do a movie that involves the original Ghostbusters.
Well,
That
Harold
just
Ramis, I think he
blows
died in
my mind.
20. I think he died in 2015 or so, maybe even before that.
Yeah, and it was
But
like
mostly,
after that, Bill Murray finally agreed.
right. Bill Murray, for whatever reason, was being a turd about it. Like, and he's off making like Grand Budapest Hotel, which bored me to tears. Me and my buddy fell asleep in the theater. Um, I don't know, understand.
St.
Like, Bill Murray
Vincent
was
was
on fire
hilarious.
in the '80s, and then he smoked himself dumb. Like, I don't know what he did, but
I do thoroughly enjoy Bill Murray, but I don't know.
well,
I wonder if it's like he felt like he was being typecast because of his character here, and he didn't want to be that guy anymore.
yeah. But name one good movie that Bill Murray's been in the last 20 years, and go. Like a starring lead role, and go.
Saint Vincent,
Is that the one with the ship?
no,
St.
it's
Vincent.
him where he takes on. He's like an older, angry man, and he takes on a neighborhood kid. Absolutely hilarious. Also, The Dead Won't Die. I really enjoyed that
Okay,
movie.
that's right. I haven't seen that one. I knew that got good praise, but I love this. Now, what's funny
Yes,
is like he
this
makes this movie. He really does carry this movie. Not that everybody else crushes their role, but he's the most lovable one in this movie. But can you imagine if Chevy Chase would have gotten the role in this because he was up for this role? Um, I actually think Chevy was. like to the character better suited. But I'm glad that it went to Bill Murray.
I think this is kind of a testament to the time as well, because this spawned off the kid cartoon, the video games, the all that, and this movie is very grounded in adult comedy and libertarian comedy, which we can get into the politics of it later. I'm not sure I want to do that for this review. Um, but I find it so interesting that spawned a children's show. Like, it's
Jabari says
crazy.
that he dislikes Lost in Translation. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan on that.
I wasn't either.
Oh man,
I
what
mean,
about Bob? I think that was mid '90s. So yeah,
was it?
what about Bob is great.
God, I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah, I own that. It's got the guy from Jaws. It's gonna be just a second.
This
I love this scene's so good. Like he's
shocks. Tell you what the effect is. It's pissing me off. Dude, I can quote most of this movie.
I love that he knows just enough like medical jargon and psychology to where he can make it seem like he knows what he's doing. He's very professional. And I mean, he does have his degree or whatever, but
Yeah.
you can tell he's in it for the ladies.
Yeah. Dude, God, Dan Aykroyd is the perfect little kid character in this movie. Like,
He really is.
with the car and with the firehouse. No. I would have to say outside
I
of
love
Ghostbusters, Bill Murray's best is probably Stripes.
I love Stripes. That is a good one. Yeah, no, I love Groundhog Day, and I really, really love Scrooged.
Yeah, Scrooged is good. I actually own that. I don't own Groundhog Day or Stripes, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, I own Stripes and Scrooge, but I don't own Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Dude, it's frustrating because like Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ramis, they're all legends. But I feel like I wish I would have gotten a little bit more out of each of them. I just feel like they picked a couple roles, they did some good stuff, but I just feel like they had like Jim Carrey was pumping out movies, you know what I mean? Robin Williams was pumping out movies. Like I feel like these comedy legends could have done a little bit more.
Ramis kind of went more towards the director's chair, and then Dan Aykroyd
in writing
his mind and started doing
Yep.
like standing, drinking, and smoking on TV, talking about aliens and stuff. So everybody was like, "Meh," with Dan Aykroyd, but then he popped up in like Coneheads, and we're like, "Cool, yeah, that's cool, we can do that."
Well, Dan Aykroyd also had a huge flop when it comes to Nothing But Trouble, which was inspired by Hellraiser and some personal events. He had a $40 million budget, and the movie grossed $8 million. It's the one and only movie he ever directed, and I love it. I've loved it since I was a kid. But it's not a movie where like everybody's gonna love it and you're gonna make $120 million. Like I don't know what he was thinking.
I mean,
He got Chevy Chase. He got John Candy.
Nobody sets out
weird.
to make a movie that
Demi
people
Moore.
won't love. I think, that kind of going back to what we talk about all the time about how I try and find a movie one way, you find it the other, and I don't think anybody sets out to make a terrible film, but it just happens. Tarantino had some strong words about Bill Murray's character and choice of movies on Joe Rogan's podcast. Tarantino
I'll have to check that
is
out.
an outspoken, overspoken. I think my hot take on Tarantino.
No, you're
I
right.
say stuff people don't like to get a reaction. And if it works, I did my job.
Yeah.
I love his movies. I just don't. I think he is a person that is what he does. I don't know why.
He has become a god in his own mind.
Yeah, I mean, look at what he did to
He's
Uma
his own
Thurman
worst
to get
enemy.
the shot. Look at what he did to Uma Thurman to get the shot in Kill Bill 2. He almost killed
Right, she almost
her.
died. Yep.
Like that, it's insane.
But
He lied to her.
she forgave him though, and
Like
she said
two
she'd still
years
work with him.
ago. Yeah, she said she'd still work with him, but she was never doing Kill Bill again.
I don't know because he's talked about doing Kill Bill 3, so but I don't know how you do Kill Bill 3 at all. It makes no sense to me, no clue whatsoever. Unless I
Mm-mm.
mean spoilers for Kill Bill 2, spoiler. He dies.
It's over.
Like she drives off. How do you have a sequel to that? Unless she didn't kill him. And if you just resurrect him, it's going to be super lame.
It's
I
gonna
love
get the
how
Halloween
excited
Kills treatment.
uh,
The
Yeah,
blows
yeah,
his
I love how
nose.
excited Spangler and Ray are,
And he's
and
just
he's just like wants nothing to do
ugh.
with this. It's like this is not the KY jelly I thought I'd be. Never mind. I know it's like a big booger.
Dude, just
I,
as a little kid. Okay, honestly, we as little kids probably should have never been watching this, but dude, I laugh so hard at this just thinking
PG.
about little me laughing at it. Like this happened to you
The,
before. Oh,
the
first
chemistry,
time.
the delivery, and the timing are
Just
unparalleled. Like
perfect.
everybody's character is just firing on all cylinders. Harold Ramis is so good. They wanted Christopher Lloyd, and there was a couple other guys too that they were going to do for Spangler, but Harold Ramis he
Can
made
you
a good argument
imagine?
for like he's like, look, I wrote this character, I know everything about him.
Could you imagine having Christopher Lloyd, Chevy Chase, and Eddie Murphy instead? I don't think it would be the film that it is today. I don't think that
No,
those
it'd be good, but
gentlemen
it wouldn't.
would have the on-screen presence that these gentlemen do.
Right. Well, in the original, like so, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi wrote the story, and John Belushi was actually going to be Bill Murray's character. And when he died in '82, they had to recast him. I can't. I like John, but he's not Bill Murray. I don't know. John was he was good, but I actually like James Belushi more than I do John Belushi.
Yeah, I prefer Bill Murray
Yeah,
from
nobody else but
originally.
Bill Murray would. But I think Chevy Chase would have been interesting though. He would have fit the character a little bit better. But the timing, I don't know. If Chevy
It's
Chase would
something
have
in
played
his.
like a Fletch in this,
It's also his face. Like you can see that he's like the "I'm not even supposed to be here today" guy. But he's
right,
like, "I have to do this. I have to." He that embodies, I think, what all of us do at work.
right. Look at him. He's the first one out of there. Like, well, to run back. I love it. That was your plan, get her. Like, I love it. Like, it's so much like you're so excited about something, you're so ill prepared for it. You're like an idiot like that.
It's like the Joker. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it.
Right. That was your plan, get her.
It's scientific.
Gotta be bigger than the microchip. We're already building how are we going to take care of them?
Always serious.
What kind of candy bar is that?
I think it's a. Is it the 100 grand?
Was it a payday? Oh, was it?
Either
Okay.
payday or 100 grand or something like that.
I love how like they just got this huge breakthrough, and the first thing that happens to them is they get fired.
Yeah.
That's why it's interesting that a lot of people that have been trying to do their passions when they're at their very lowest, when they double down, I like that. I love that kind of a story when they just won't give up and they double down on their passions and they succeed. I love that kind of underdog story.
Yeah.
I love how this dude just tears him apart.
Scientist.
I see. I love it.
See.
He has no argument.
I see.
Mid-meter cattle prod. Love it. Am I ahead of you?
Huh?
Am I ahead of you?
No.
Because Ray
You
just
don't know
said the
what's
private
happening.
sector.
I've worked in the private sector. They expect results.
Right. I love he's drinking probably the cheapest whiskey probably you could find, or vodka. This is not a very good inspirational speech. And I love the drinking when he grabs, he's like, I don't know. But he's kind of bouncy. I love it. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't concern himself with anything. I don't know, but we're going to do it. And he goes for another pull. I love it. Oh.
Ugh.
That's a good looking suit for 84.
Yeah.
I love this. And now they flip and he's trying to bargain with her. And then Ray just slides down on the pole. He's like, I'm going to get my stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just like a little kid.
He's like that 6-year-old kid. Yeah, I love it. It's like car dealers love people like him.
Uh-huh. Dude, when he drives
it
in
is a
the
cool
Ecto,
building.
when he drives in the Ecto and he starts breaking down everything wrong with it, God, that makes me
His
think of
face,
my
he's like,
first car.
well, I love Bill Murray's face where he's like, like, gosh,
Yeah.
nobody can get on the same page. It's kind of strange that Sigourney Weaver took this role. I don't know. Like, she was an alien in what, 78? I mean, I guess this is kind of up her alley. I don't know. I love John
Yeah.
Candy, and I think he's way above Rick Moranis, but I think Rick Moranis was right for this role.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because of the contrast. Like, John Candy wasn't a tall guy, but the contrast between her and between him and Sigourney Weaver and the rest of the gang, it makes him kind of stand out.
His characterization is really good, and I'm really happy they didn't go with John Candy for that, because this really is he's perfect. Like,
They really do have the same vibe though. Like the mouth puckering that he's doing. John Candy does that a lot in some of his movies, especially in the end of Vacation when they go to Wally World.
yeah, but John Candy has a different look to him, whereas he looks like the hopeless, like
The nerd.
nerdy, poor kid. Yeah, and you're just kind of like, oh, your heart kind of breaks for him.
Right. Rick Moranis is another great comedic actor that I kind of wish we would. I understand what happened. His wife died. He retired, take care of his kids. That's fine. But I wish we would have gotten a little bit more from him too. And I know I'm being selfish, but I don't know. These guys were so good. I just wish we would have got more from them.
Dude, I mean, he got punched and robbed recently. Like, what, last
Yeah,
year?
last year, yeah, yeah.
Right after he came back and said, I might do some voice acting, people. And then he, like, came out and said that, and, like, 2 weeks later, he gets decked and robbed. It's just like, give this guy a break. Like, hasn't he been through enough?
Right. I can't believe he wouldn't come back for Afterlife. Like that's a huge paycheck. I'm sure he's worth more money than I'll ever see in my life, but
Mm-hmm.
it's strange the amount of money that people turn down. Dave Chappelle, $50 million, walked away from it. Will Ferrell, $30 million for Elf 2, walked away from it, wanted more money. Like what? It's just crazy to me. Like I don't know. I guess Will Ferrell, like I mean, I know he's a big comedic actor, but he's getting older,
Bro,
and I
if
just don't see
somebody would
people
like to
like
offer me $30
banging down
million
his door.
for Elf 2, if somebody wants to approach me about Elf 2, I will take 10 million. Just just letting y'all
I
know.
will I will shave my butt or braid it, whatever you want, crawl backwards and talk like Ace Ventura with his butt for $30 million. I'll do that the whole movie for $30 million.
That's a different kind of movie. I feel like that doesn't get a wide release. Well, depending.
Yeah, this is great.
Can't park that here.
Suspension, shocks, brakes, brake pads, steering box, transmission, rear end. God, $3,800 back in '84. Mufflers, wiring. God dang.
No. And customers? Yeah, isn't it?
He doesn't like her smarky attitude. Snarky. And then he crawls out. Look at that computer, man. That is not ergonomically friendly.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even facing her, really.
What?
What's that? Oh, the computer. It's not even
I didn't hear
facing
what
her,
you said.
really. Like,
Oh, no.
am I here?
It's for the shot.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay.
What?
Well, yeah, no, it's just, but how tall is Sigourney Weaver? Like, is she wearing some, like, 4-inch heels? Because I know she's not short, but yeah, there he is working on the shocks. That looks like fun. At least he paid for it and he's working on it. You gotta give him props for that.
Yeah. He just.
I love how fast he popped up. Yeah, and he cleared the little door opener thing. Janine, shut up.
Generally, you don't see that kind of behavior in plot.
See, now they're doing all the like smart jargon stuff, and he's like, "Oh crap, I have nothing to say." That's a pretty good cover. Pretty good. Great recovery.
I'm not gonna lie. I would totally sport his flannel. The purple, green, and blue. I would totally
It
wear
looks
that.
cozy. I can see you with a sweater vest too.
No, that'll never happen.
Good.
It's technical.
And yeah, and now she knows he's full of crap. Nothing ever happened in there. What a crime. I wonder if that was in the character description because he really is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good sized kitchen too.
Uh-huh.
And for New York, space is, I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm assuming the bigger the apartment, the bigger the rent. I mean, obviously, makes sense, right?
Oh yeah.
Especially like that's a nice kitchen in today's world.
Yeah. I mean, but aside from the countertops and the color.
The countertops really aren't that bad though. They're like a dark gray. Like
And the
cabinets
weird
really aren't
cabinet
that
there.
bad.
Man, those are
I don't
weird.
think they're that bad. I would take those cabinets over my cabinets, and my house was built in '87. My cabinets suck. I love it. I think so. And here's where he goes way too far. That's kind of my personality, not like the predator vibes like he has, but like, oh, I'm getting on your nerves. Well, let me just scratch that a little bit more. Like I've gotten a lot better about it, but when I was younger, I would just, if I was starting to irritate you, I would just crank it up, and you either love me or hate me. There was no middle ground. But I have really lightened up on it.
I slow down, chew your food. I didn't really pull that much. I was more of a straight shooter. Like And I would tell somebody if they were irritating me. And then if they didn't stop, I was a much angrier person back then. So it was different.
Someday I'll have to irritate you and see what happens. Well, that'll be a fun day.
And it was that day, John
Dude, they
Moore
have
came up.
arcade. This is the first time I've noticed they have a pinball machine and two arcades. Like, damn, how much money did they spend?
A decent
Well,
amount.
he still got his Chinese food. He's not done eating.
That sped up footage is just perfect for this movie. I know it's cheesy and it's corny and all that, but it just works here when they speed up the car.
Yeah. Well, and the jazzy poppy music is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Proton packs are huge.
I guess they're the wand my brother got me. Um, they are doing a proton pack for it too if it gets enough backers, and it's almost backed enough. And my brother's like, I want to go in and do half. And I'm like, man, if I didn't have all this other stuff coming up right now, I would push. But I don't think I can make it work right now.
That would be sweet to see on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Put one of the outfits right next to it, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm probably going to stop with my collection of Ghostbusters.
I mean, I've got a decent one, and
I said
sadly, it's
myself.
not all in the video, but
I love this. Doing, and he's like, I'm going to back away. Ugh. I blame myself. So do I.
that's great.
I love the elbow pads. Elbow pads was a nice touch.
It was. It looks goofy, but awesome.
Right. So I've actually been hunting where two dudes had guns and I was the guy in the middle and they turned around and fired. I haven't really been hunting since. I was so like as soon as they turned because they were just a little ahead of me, I remember thinking, this is how I die. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
it's not good. We were way too
I haven't
young to
been
be having
hunting
guns
for
out there
a while.
hunting.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I
This is
love how
somehow
some.
connected to John Belushi, um, because it's kind of, from what I understand, I think it's kind of a throwback to the scene in Animal House where he's eating all the food in the line in the cafeteria line. Um, I don't know if that's a fact or whatnot, but it would be kind of cool if they threw their friend kind of a nod.
Yeah. I still don't understand how Slimer became such the staple, like, and then even became like the house pet in the cartoons.
Right. I think, it's something to do with the sidekick character. It's the same thing with like a lot of Disney people, like or a lot of Disney shows, like Aladdin. There's Raja, there's Abu, and Iago. Like a lot of shows. There's just that side character animal or something. I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
proven thing to work, I guess.
Yeah.
This looks good on DVD. I wonder how it would look on Blu-ray if they would enhance it and make it look good, if it would look like crap. This is a good looking
Mm.
DVD. I have no problems with it.
Yeah, no, I think that the
Oh,
grain adds to the nostalgia feeling. I think that, you can see some of the things that are a little dated, but at the same time, if you enhance it too much, I feel like that's gonna make the dated look worse.
right. Well, the wide
I think
shot
we
right
have the
there didn't
same
look very good,
DVD,
but
right?
if like right here it looks a little weak, but right there it looks great when it zooms in on him.
Is this the same cut you're watching? The two
Yep,
pack in green? Yeah.
with the booklet thing. Yeah, it's right there,
Yep,
Caleb.
yep, same thing. Yep,
Oh,
same thing.
yeah. Does yours have the raised surface?
Yes,
Okay,
it
because
does.
I've got two DVD combo packs. One doesn't, one does. I don't know why. I was just curious why they had it that way, but that's the one they got me. It's weird how he's got this like funny but cool kind of aura about him. Like Bill Murray just kills this movie.
Right?
I love how they just destroy this room.
Dude, they have destroyed this whole place.
Yeah, table broke the floor. I love this. He pulls the thing. He's like, the flowers are still standing.
It would be bad.
That's bad. He also does have a bit of a subtle, like Ray. He's got a bit of a subtle New York accent.
Yeah.
It just works really well. I love Slimer. If I come back as a ghost, that's gonna be me. I'm just eating buffets all day long.
You're gonna be green too,
And I love how Bill Murray's like the least qualified there, but he's like the leader.
right?
Just
With the roof
wrecking the
to be
ballroom.
ready.
He looks like a dog up there panting, like he's tired.
Right?
Like when you take your dog on a long walk and he's just got to lay down.
The flowers are still standing.
I love it. Yeah, on the DVD, the special effects are good. I really want to know how they would look in the Blu-ray or 4K. I think it's out on 4K now. I'm pretty sure.
I
I
looked
looked at
at
the
the trap.
trap. That's so everybody. That somebody in your group would do that. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
I love the subtle kick. Like,
I love that little egg. What?
we kicked its ass.
Real nasty one too.
But fourth out.
We are having a special. The the one time everybody was on the same page.
Right? Oh, we can put it right back here.
Uh,
I don't know why,
Good
but every
Lord,
time
man,
I
her
hear about
spine is like, oh,
almost every time I hit this point in the movie, I'm ready to watch Batman. But I don't know why. Like I'm
really?
like, all right, I'm just gonna watch Batman.
Huh. I wonder why. That's interesting.
I don't know. Must be some association I have from when I was a kid or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Ghostbusters, Batman, it's a staple of our childhood. Yeah, it's some good
Turtles.
go-tos. Man, when I got this on VHS, so happy.
Yeah.
Is Larry King still alive? I know. I think he is. I remember seeing him like a couple years ago. I'm like, my God, he looks the same.
Yeah, I don't
That
know
dude just
what's
did not age.
I don't know if he's still alive or not.
I want to say he is, but
Man,
and then this guy, who's this famous guy? He did die, right? But I think they still do repeats.
man, he did voices
Can't
through
remember.
video games, movies.
Casey Kasem?
Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem, right? I don't know if they said it or not, but it's Casey Kasem. Yeah,
Yep.
I
No,
always wanted to
Steve.
be a disc jockey or somebody famous, but what? Oh, it's interesting, man. In this one, like she was just restringing her violin, and they don't really come back to no, they do come back to that in this one. Was I thinking of the second one? Can't remember now. I think it is this one, right? Where he goes back and she's like dating somebody else. I can't remember. Was that the first one or second one? He does that little like skip dance thing in the park.
I think it's the second
I don't
one.
remember now. Yeah, because I don't remember this one really going into her job, and that this is a weird scene.
Right?
Ernie Hudson, there it is. And I don't know why I always want to say Ed O'Neill. If there's a steady paycheck, I'll believe anything you want or anything you say.
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I believe anything you say.
Tell him about the Twinkie. That's a big Twinkie.
You didn't used to look like this.
Yeah, I think I'm ahead of you by about a second.
What?
Beautiful, you're hired.
Yeah.
I think I'm ahead of you for a second. Right now, he just touched Proton Pack. Welcome aboard.
Nope, same place. I think we have a
Okay.
lag.
Okay. Oh, okay. No, it is this one where they do talk about yeah the symphony and he's
Oh,
dancing
here
around.
it is.
I don't
Yeah.
know why I thought it was the second one. For some reason, I don't know. I don't know why I thought it was the second one for a second, but it's interesting. I never noticed her restringing her violin.
The child. The
Right.
child.
The child.
Best part of the second movie. I don't care.
My favorite is like the dancing toaster. He's like, we sell it, and yeah, first time it takes somebody's hand off. He's like, no, we put a little warning label on it. We are not liable, and then he pretends that it's eating his hand. And then the train scene's really good too in the second one. I really like that. That's pretty creepy. It has a very like Poltergeist feel to it.
Yeah.
I believe Poltergeist was 82. I could be wrong on that one.
Sounds about right. What's Gozer?
He was very big in Samaria. It's a magnificent coordination. I respect you. Yeah, sure you do.
Still very
So
pale,
Joe
though.
Cool. Why is he puckering on that cigarette so hard? This is us at the DMV. Dr. Venkman. How did he get degrees? He just doesn't seem like a guy that hits the books.
Right. Yes.
Obviously, everybody knows the magic words, please. Come on. Is this? Do you know anything else this guy was in besides Die Hard 1 and 2? Can't think of him in anything else but this movie, Die Hard 1 and 2. He plays a turd in both movies.
Yeah, he does. I can't think of anything either. I feel like that this is what he's known for.
Yeah. The fact that he has no wee wee. You know, I'm glad they didn't get Eddie Murphy in this movie. I don't think he would have had enough time to shine. It would. I think there was like the everyday working man or whatever. Somebody you can relate to. I think Zed Moore is perfect, and I just don't think Eddie Murphy. I mean, Eddie Murphy's great, but I just don't think he would have fit in as well. You know what I mean? Too much comedy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
No, he's the perfect actor. I just wish that all the cuts wouldn't have happened. They really screwed him
Oh
over.
God, yeah, posters. Yeah, I mean, even the DVD that was released not that long ago, the VHS cut him off of the final roof scene. Like, yeah.
And dude, the script he was given wasn't even like, and so that was another issue with everybody is the script kept changing because it was like too dark toned and they needed to lighten stuff up. And but the script that he got first was not this. He had a lot more in depth, and it just cut, 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 cut. Man, oof, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I think for how this movie played out, I think he came in at the right time. Like they needed more help, and then he came in. I mean, just if he would have come in earlier as just like their buddy, they're trying to help out, or like their buddy that needed a job. I don't know. I like that he was just a random guy off the street, random working guy they never met. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of play with the whole like fish out of water with the friendship. I don't know. Not that they don't nurture that very much in this movie. They do more in the second movie. But yeah, I don't know. This scene right up here where she gets like grabbed by the chair, it really reminds me of like The Exorcist Part 2. Like when they're like she's grabbing the nurse. I don't know. It doesn't matter if you don't remember it, but and it also makes me feel like it feels like a Poltergeist scene. And I know that's kind of weak because Poltergeist came before it, but for whatever reason, it always reminded me of Poltergeist.
For me, it just reminds me of how terrible um, the '90s was for pinks, greens, and archways.
This is
Lord,
'80s, man.
what?
But yeah, it did carry over into the early '90s. Like that, this wave of '80s carried over into like '92, 4, 6 ish.
Yeah, I mean, like all my stuff was that era stuff growing up, and it was that way through the 2000s. Like, and
Oh man,
then
we were
we
growing
moved to
up.
an apartment
Growing up,
where
we were like
everything was just one.
'70s stuff.
Yeah, our
Sorry,
house.
delay. Sorry.
You're good. The house I grew
Yep.
up in.
This is the same. This is the same year. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Delay.
Ooh, the house I grew up in was uh, built in the 60s or 70s, and the guy who was selling it when my parents bought it had just done some light renovations. So very 80s wallpaper, very 80s crap, and it that's just how it was growing up. The color of the house outside was dark poop brown, like dark brown, and that was just normal.
I love how he remembers everything he spends. It reminds me of me at that point where it's like I can remember most of the action figures I bought, how much I paid for them, and like all the movies and stuff. Like it's kind of stupid. This girl's like the most Barbie doll of any human being I've ever seen in a movie. She is like full on Barbie.
Yep, she really is.
But no, the scene a second ago with the dogs, man, when they're coming into the door, it kind of makes me think of that scene from A Nightmare on Elm Street, which was the same year as this. And I wonder if they didn't help each other out with that because it's a really cool effect, um,
I don't know.
which I don't understand why they did it in CGI when it was like a $4 special effect in '84. The stop motion claymation and stuff that they do in this movie is really good. The CGI is pretty good too. I'm pretty sure there's some CGI. I'm not. I need to do more research on CGI and kind of. I want to know more about like when it came about more because CGI. There's even
Yeah.
CGI in like Beauty and the Beast, which is like early '90s, but CGI goes further back than I realized, and I don't know. I'm curious to know more about that.
I was watching Eraser, I want to say like a month and a half ago. The CGI in that did not age well. The movie still awesome.
When he's on the plane.
Oh, yeah, and it's getting a sequel.
And then the monitors.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. It's getting a sequel.
It's getting a sequel?
Yeah.
Why?
No Arnold.
That's an underappreciated Arnold movie.
Mm-hmm.
Eraser's great.
It is.
I mean, it's no True Lies, but it's a good Arnold movie.
I love both films. I can't pick.
True Lies is leaps and bounds better than Eraser, but Eraser's fantastic. Eraser's like a calmed down Commando. Like, you know what I mean? It's still like outlandish and crazy and gunfire, but it's calmed way down.
You know what movie it always makes me think of? U.S. Marshals.
I can see that, yeah, because they're on a plane, they're chasing down, they're protecting people. Yeah, I can see that. U.S. Marshals is a good movie. That's a good follow-up.
Yes! Yes! I feel like people skip over that film so much.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, nobody talks about that movie for Wesley Snipes. Like, that's a good movie with Wesley Snipes. Nobody talks about it.
Yep.
They always talk about The Fugitive, and they never talk about U.S. Marshals.
It's a problem.
I love the beginning of U.S. Marshals where he's dressed up as Big Bird, and then he's got to go to work. Like, he's got like a plate of chicken or whatever. He just drops it and starts undressing and pulls his gun out as Big Bird. It's a good opening.
It's a great movie. Maybe we should review that.
I do love U.S. Marshals, but it will really make me want to watch Fugitive beforehand. But this is a very weird sexual scene, especially for PG.
Again, we were kids.
Yeah, no clue. The Keymaster and the Gatekeeper, like.
Are we still going out?
Is this a trick question?
We never talk anymore.
At least two people in there already. Upset and disturbed. This is where I actually believe he's a bit of a scientist. He's trying to reason right now.
Right?
That's kind of a couch feel. Therapist. Very Exorcist right there.
Uh-huh.
I do that. Have you gotten to the count to three stage yet with your kid?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
You haven't? Yeah, I'm there with Jack. Been there for a little while, and I'm telling you, I've been so stern with it that when I get to 3, he does what I ask him. But I've never done the 2.5 because that's a slippery slope. Yeah, this is Exorcist written all over it. I probably would have had her on the couch or something. Like, it's just something to kind of detach it a little bit from Exorcist. I mean, it works, it's fine, but
It's
why is he laying down underneath her? Oh,
I don't know.
like he was kind of into it for a second. Oh my God, Caleb, I would love to watch you reenact this scene. Just just like this and roll up to some random horse. I don't know. I just want to see you go for it. Give me your best acting.
Why
This
are
is the
you
kind of
trying
stuff
to
that'll get you an acting job.
Why are you trying to get me to Johnny Knoxville somebody in real life? My luck is I get shot or go to prison.
Where that horse would just like straight up bite you right in the collar.
Turn around and kick me.
Right. Dropping off and picking up. Like they're so busy they even have the police dropping off nut jobs. Like they painted the building, they interior remodeled, like good lord. And a lot of that was done before they even had business.
Right? I don't think he's human.
I love the makeshift electronic whatever brainwave scan thing that is from a strainer.
Right?
God, he crushed that scene. It's like he's an uber nerd at like 12 years old. Crushed it.
Right? Dude, that scene makes me think of role models. The movie Role Models,
Which
where
part? I
all
love
those
robot.
kids are, huh?
No,
Yeah, the movie Role Models. So all those kids that are
right.
super
Sorry,
into like
I'm trying not to talk.
the role play and all that, and how they're just able
Yeah.
to spin off that talk like that. Like that's what he did.
What is it? Allegra has lifted her skirt. A rub a dub dub. Yeah, that role models is. Oh my God, I probably saw that movie 5 times before it came out on DVD. But I
Yeah.
saw it twice in theaters, and then they had a little movie theater in college underneath the library, student hall or whatever. And you could like every night they show the same movie like 3 4 times, so or however many times, whatever. But God, role models is great.
Man, I remember I think it was when my wife and I started dating. She went out of town for a little bit, and it was while blockbusters were starting to die. Um, I ran up and I rented maybe 5 or 6 movies, and Role Models was one of them. And I think I watched that like 3 or 4 times because I just had like 3 days off to myself, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch a bunch of movies. And Role Models was the one that I was like, oh my god, I gotta watch it again.
Yeah. what Sean William Scott is his
Yeah.
name? Stifler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I've heard some things where it sounded like he's kind of difficult and kind of I don't know. Whatever he is, I just wish he was in more movies because I love that guy. He's so funny.
I would like a
He
follow
should
up
be
to the
bigger than he
rundown.
is. Yeah.
I would like a follow up to the run. Like, let's see The Rock get his restaurant. Let's see Sean William Scott living that lavish lifestyle after his dad's stuff. And then, something happened. Like, let's do that. I don't care. Because it's a comedy. You don't need to go for all of the lineage to perfect it. Like, let's just do it. Just do it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I love that they talk about like the end of times with the Bible and like that really freaks out Ray. It's a
Right?
good little scene just to make you think like how big is this really going to be?
I love how he walks
Walter
in
Peck.
from the distance.
Like the style in '84 seems pretty like I mean it's dated obviously, but it's pretty not crazy. Like '86 I feel like '85, '86 is when like styles really got nuts and then the '90s with like big shoulder pads and stuff like that. Like you know what I mean? Like think of the styles in this movie compared to like American Psycho where it takes place late '80s, early '90s. I don't know, like the '84 was like it just seems like everything's, tailored. I don't know. It's interesting. I've never really looked at the wardrobe, but the wardrobe's it ages really well to today's styles, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
The hairstyles really aren't too bad. Glasses are rough on Janine. Those are huge.
Egon's glasses are a little rough too.
Yeah, but it fits his face and his nerdy-esque persona. It's such a good car salesman. That wasn't an opinion. That was a fact of I don't know what I'm doing. You could shoot him. It's legal. I wonder how much of the I wonder how I wonder how much of the casting Ivan Reitman did. I know he saw Sigourney Weaver's performance, but the casting in this movie is just great. It's just great.
It is.
It's blowing out cinder blocks. I love Alan Rickman how he's running. It's like run like you're a 2.5-year-old that's really got to poop and is trying to learn how to use the potty.
God, this is all so like okay. So once the beam comes out of the roof, I feel like it's super cheesy, but in such a good, wholesome way. Like I don't know,
Right.
there's something different about a movie doing this type of stuff in the late '80s, mid '80s versus like today. Like it's so nice to see a
Well,
sky
there's a
beam that's not like we're gonna destroy the whole world on a scale like the Avengers or Batman versus Superman or like this is just
hey,
like we're gonna get you ghosts.
Here's a video, man. I'm gonna have you do it. I'm gonna put this all on you. This is all your work. The history of the sky beam, and I want to see like decades progression. Like,
Yeah,
and
I
like,
don't know.
when did it like get really old?
When did it start to get old?
I would pro
I
I
would
would probably say
say,
Man of Steel is probably where the last good sky beam.
yeah, I would say it's hard to find one that fits after Independence Day. Like, after the film Independence Day had mixed up its attack platform, like Skybeam's meaning just kind of went down. Man of Steel was good. Everything after that is just super weak, in my opinion. I'm just like, cool. I'm threatened by another beam that's gonna do something. I think maybe.
But I think there's a lot of forgiveness in the 80s. There's a lot of charm and there's a lot of innovation that's going on. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're doing stuff that had never been done before. Like you got to think about it. In '84, they're not even a decade into the summer blockbusters, right? Summer blockbusters really started with Jaws, 1975. So like they're pushing the envelope. They're making innovations. You know, you got James Cameron. You know, you got Terminator coming out this year. Um, in my opinion, 1984 is the best year for movies. I mean, 1999 was awesome, but in my opinion, 1984 is the best year for movies.
It's a solid claim. I don't know why, and I would have to do a little more research, but my brain wants to say 1997. I don't know if I actually will stay to that claim or not, but in my head, I just think 97.
Yeah.
Never studied.
She's not my girlfriend. Above the covers.
Above her covers.
I love how like into the phenomenon stuff they are, where they know all the magazines and all the people that are huge into it. You know, back then, trying to find all that stuff had to be a lot harder than it is today.
Right?
But the passion had to be stronger than anything we see today because once again, it's limited. You actually
Yeah.
had to go out and do the work. You can't just Google it.
Yeah. Yeah, big difference.
Carl Winslow.
God.
Someday I just need to binge Family Matters. God, I love Family Matters.
Wesley and I made it to the second to last season, I believe, before we stopped. It was
Yep.
a lot of fun, but he stopped paying attention to it and started being a wild child, so now we're into the days of
Well,
Coco Melon.
Coco. She always reminded me of a vampire right there, like just this unsuspecting dude. She's like painted pasty white with like I don't know, there's like a blue accent thing.
It feels like the
Do you think,
Gary Oldman Dracula in a way, the way it's shot around there.
right? She feels like a bride of Dracula from like Bram Stoker's Dracula, or like maybe like a zombie. I don't know. I wonder if they powdered her whole body.
Boom, boom.
This dude's perfect for a New York mayor.
Right? This is true. This man has no dick.
The subtlety of it's so good. I love how they have a bishop just walk in.
Right?
Pretty sure he's a bishop. Of course he's Irish.
Biggest jerk of all time. Yeah, yeah, he is.
He's so
Things
good at
called.
it too. Like it kind of sucks that you get typecasted for being a jerk. I love it, Mr. Pecker. That's hysteria.
Not necessary.
That's what it all boils down to. What's going on with Bill Murray's like crease right here? That's not really in that scene, but the one before, it looked like he got cut.
Oh.
I'm gonna miss him. I don't know why. I just got the biggest urge to watch Tremors 2. When
I got the
they get
urge to
the
watch.
backing of the Mexican government. They get the backing of the Mexican government, and then all of a sudden you got Bert who shows up with like all the toys. He's like, "You guys had anything you want? You've got one stick of dynamite." Like I don't know. I love Tremors too. I mean, it's one of those things where like Tremors is a better movie, but I think I enjoy Tremors 2 more.
Yeah, I mean, that no judgment there. Personally, when he said that, what do you need from me? My brain immediately went Uzi 9 millimeter, and now I need to watch the first Terminator.
Yeah. Yeah, plasma rifle with 30-watt range or whatever he says. He's like, it's just what you see, pal.
You
Yeah,
can't do that here.
once again, Terminator 1984, and that guy, the pawn shop gun guy, he was the Gremlins dude. And also
Mhm.
1984, he was the one who was talking about the Gremlins in the house. I can't remember his name, but 84, man. Nightmare on Elm Street, Karate Kid. My brother saw some of these in theater at a very good age. 70. He was born in 77, so he would have been 7 for all these. Can you imagine watching Ghostbusters, Karate Kid, Terminator? He wouldn't watch Terminator, but uh, man, my brother had some great
Oh,
80s
yeah.
experience when it came to movies and being a kid.
That'd have been crazy, you know? I don't know. That would have been
Well, yeah,
really cool.
yeah. Well, my mom, like she had all the early to late 70s experiences. So like Exorcist, Halloween, she saw all those in theater. Like she saw the dawn of slashers. Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like I like I won't say I love, but I like Friday the 13th, the original 1980. But it's not 1978's Halloween. It's not Exorcist. It's not Chainsaw Massacre. When it comes to most franchises, the original Friday the 13th is really low on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we need to revisit Elm Street because I know you like the franchise, and I want you to sell me on everything past 4 because minus Freddy vs. Jason, I'm just not a big fan, and I want you to to show me the good things, to talk it up. So I'm really excited. Whenever we go into Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm going to be really excited to hopefully hear your different perspective and try to adjust because I
So
want to
there's
love
two
them.
things. Yeah, there's two things to keep in mind with the later Nightmare on Elm Street sequels. It's almost you had to discover it on your own or be there, and you have to realize that it moved from being horror to MTV culture. Chucky did it, Freddy did it first. Like it was just kind of the thing to do. I mean, he was scary in 1 and 2. 3, he dips way down. 4, he dips down even. So we made it past scary. And the one attempt to make him scary again was New Nightmare, and I think it's effective for what the concept of the film was, but it also just it didn't hit the right audience. It has now, but back then people they were fatigued with slashers still, and they didn't see New Nightmare
Right?
for its meta. They saw it for it's Freddy again. You know,
I don't know, man. I would
I
almost
would
say that I would I would almost say that Nightmare on Elm Street is the only franchise to like you're saying go MTV. I don't think I would blame more. It did its own thing before, like it created its own thing. It went into the '80s rock and roll and everything. It seemed like I would say Chucky was more influenced by, you could say Nightmare on Elm Street, but I would say more the success of Scream, obviously, the comedy, the tone, the meta-ness. So I don't know. Elm Street's like its own beast. It did its own thing. I don't know. And the biggest problem for me is that 1, 2, and 3. 3 ends so well, and it picks up with 4 with the dumbest excuse on the planet. It it's like Alien 3. It ruins what the previous movie did, and the next movies just got wilder and weirder and like not scary and like you're saying the MTV. So like I said, I'm interested to watch you watch it and sell me on the positives because like you said, I want to enjoy these movies. I now own all of them.
here's I can give you a couple positives. One, Freddy's humor is over the top, but it's also kind of funny, especially from me seeing it as like a young kid, like 9, 10 years old, and just having fun with it. The kills are extremely creative. The settings are amazing. Um, the the set design alone is really cool, and there's only one scene in all of those films that bugs me, and it's because they couldn't get the shot right, and it's Invisible Freddy. Outside of that,
In four.
I'm
Yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty bad.
Outside of
Well, it's
that,
not
I
that they couldn't
love
get
it
the
all.
shot right; they ran out of budget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I'm
the
I'm excited to watch that with you, but hold on, let's get back to this movie because this is like the legendary ending. The Gatekeeper and the Keymaster, and then the doors open up. Got the like this stairway to the Emperor kind of feel, and then you got them transforming into dogs, demon dogs. Transformation still looks pretty good.
I mean, it's a little cartoony.
I mean, for well, I mean it's almost 30 years ago, or no, it's more than 30 years ago. It's 30 whatever, 35 years ago or whatever it is now. But
No.
I think the reason like some of this holds up too is like a lot of love was put into these movies, like and a lot of hard work. It wasn't just thrown in there and be like, meh. But
Also,
this movie also had a huge budget.
this always makes me feel like Conan. I don't know why. Like that stop motion with the
The
stairs and the
original,
smoke, I always go back. It's Conan.
yeah. I don't know what it is about that first movie, but after he gets his sword and kills those dogs, I just can't get into the movie. Well, no, that's not true. When he meets, oh, damn, I'm gonna forget her name now, but Valeria, that's good. I guess it's maybe the last quarter of the movie. I don't know. Anyway, it's whatever it wants to be.
Sir,
Like, aim for
nobody
the
has
flat
ever
top.
asked me if I'm a god. I'm sorry. But God, I love this scene.
Somebody asks if you're a god, you say yes.
Yes.
I love how I love how he gets
I'm
appointed
sad.
as the yeah.
I'm still missing Dana and Gozer from this line that I have, and
Yeah, I
I
would
still kind of
love to
want
have the
them.
demon dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no.
He goes,
No.
I love how it just goes full Emperor or Star Wars Return of the Jedi on him. This movie pulls from a lot of good stuff, but it does it in the right way. Return of the Jedi just came out in '83. Here it comes.
Right. Someone asks you if you're a god. You say yes.
This chick is toast. Heat him up. I love that shoulder shrug. Love it. Like that military old like American Revolution feel. Aim and fire. That New Yorker thing works so well with this movie. Just that attitude. I love it.
Yeah.
That wasn't such a chore now, was it? I think that's what he said.
This looks extraordinarily bad.
I love how random, like choose the destroyer and it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's just, it's like, who thinks of that? Like, where did that even come from? Like,
Man,
it's
have you ever been asked to think of something and what you think of is just the most polar opposite of what somebody says? Because that would totally be me in this instance. I would be like, I don't know, Mr. Peanut.
that would be scary. Jabari, that's also why it was good because it had the spirit of New York all in it. No pun intended. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, there's
yeah.
just something about when you can actually nail the attitude of New Yorkers and that the dialogue and the lingo and stuff like that. This movie does a really good job. I mean, it helps that these guys are in Saturday Night Live, and I think probably half of them lived in New York, so it probably helps. But I mean, they're great actors, so
Yeah.
the choice is made. Nobody choose anything.
Nobody choose anything. Ray?
I love the innocence of him, though. Once again, like we were talking about, that 6-year-old character, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's perfect. Well, he goes great with his character, and maybe that's what they were probably going for, obviously, but still.
Yeah. I tried to think.
He might be like Hello Kitty or something. I don't know, like Blue's Clues, like maybe I don't know. A naked Rihanna would have been walking to the city if I was out here. That's amazing. Well, that would wreck some vehicles and cause some havoc. Reminds me of that chick from Splash and Wolf of Wall Street, and she's in other things. She was that super tall chick in whatever movie that was. Some weird late '80s movie. Nobody knows what I'm talking about, but reminds me of that movie. See, this looks good. Like, I'm sure this is
There's
a small
something you
model.
don't see every day.
What have you got left? How'd you be that terrified? This kind of has some Godzilla feel to it as well, like climbing up the building, like the 70 whatever that was,
Oh,
Godzilla.
yeah.
My town. He just got that perfect New York accent. Now, when Stay Puft gets angry, that's a little scary, but
It's very
like the
childlike.
scariest part
Like
of the movie is, yeah, right there with the flames, dude. That's awesome. The scariest part of this movie is the library scene. I think once you made it
oh,
through that, you're gold. It's when your boss tells you to do something he just told you not to do.
right?
I love how Zedmore has no opinion.
Right. I'm excited to be a part of it.
11.
Let's do it.
This job isn't worth 11.5. Holy God. 11.5. They charged the first dude what 4,000, 5,000 for a day. Like they got him cheap. 2 days worth of work and they got him covered. They're playing the game just a tip, and it worked out. Explosion. Creamy sauce all over the ground. See, that reminds me of '89 Batman, where he's flying with the bat jet in the throughout the city.
Yeah.
I wonder what they hit him with that was so light. Like that's a lot. Like what did they hit him with to where it didn't fold him into the ground?
Probably,
Or I
my
wonder if they
guess
just did
is
it in
something
slow
like
motion and sped it
shaving
up.
cream mixed with like a glue or whipping cream or something like that.
Could be. It also looked like they slowed it down a little bit, so they might have like slowly poured it on. You know, they slowed it down, sped it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does look like shaving cream.
Yeah.
I haven't used shaving cream in years, but that's what it looks like.
Just in case you were wondering, kids, these two bearded fellows do know what shaving cream looks like.
Yeah. See, once again, he's the first one to take cover, so he's like the most clean. That reminds me of Tombstone when they're walking by with Morgan, and what's his name's like, smells like somebody died.
I haven't seen that in ages.
Oh man, I just bought the. I think I have an extra DVD copy if you want it. I actually have two copies on it of DVD and one Blu-ray.
Oh, and this stack right here is yours too. This little stack here.
I don't know what that is. Oh, what I gave you?
Yeah. There's still Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles Season 2 I never finished.
Season 2 is better than season 1. I will say that. I wish they would have got just one more season. Just wrap it up. That way I can get the full picture. I hate seasons that don't end on a note to where if you don't get another season, it wraps it up enough. Like you can leave a small cliffhanger, but it's frustrating.
Watch Terriers then, because it's a great show, and the way it ends. Most frustrated I've ever been with how a show ends. Terriers.
I'm still upset on how Angel ended.
Who does your
Buffy went out
tackle?
with a bang, and Angel went out with a wimp.
Never watched it.
Buffy's so good. A sample of your brain tissue. Okay. Yeah, written by Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis. Yep. And Bill Murray gets top billing, of course. Who's next, I wonder? Dan? Okay. Sigourney Weaver? Yeah, that makes sense. And then probably Harold Ramis, yep. And then I bet what's his name gets next billing. Yep. Called it. Rick Moranis gets, yep. And then Ernie Hudson is next, maybe? Or does Slimer get the next one? Who's Annie Potts? Is that the well? Okay, if that's the receptionist, that's kind of fair. She was there longer. William, I'm assuming that's Walter Peck, It's pretty weak. And then Ernie Hudson, okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Still rough. Still very rough.
Still pretty, still pretty rough. Like, just because it's the Ghostbusters, you need to hit the Ghostbusters first. I don't care how
Mhm.
long, who got screen time. I don't care that Sigourney Weaver's a bigger actress. Like, come on, guys. Like, can you imagine negotiating your billing at the end of a movie when your heart? I don't know. Whatever. It's just frustrating to me.
Oh no, that'd be terrible.
No. I love how they got merchandise and stuff. Great movie. I mean, one of the best sci-fi loose horror comedies of all time, if not the best. Yeah, if you're looking for Ernie Hudson on the DVD case, it's not on there.
He is on the second one, but like way down.
Yeah, I think if Caleb sees Afterlife and I don't see it, Caleb will either do a video or he'll do a write up review for our
Yep,
Facebook page. Um,
yep. That's
and
my
then
plan.
I
Oh, sorry. We're like out of sync on time. Like I don't know what's
I know.
happening. But,
No, it's all right.
I plan on
It was fine.
I plan on seeing it the Saturday after, so the day after it's released, um, with some family. So I'll try and do a write up. I don't know if I'll get to do a video, but yeah, I'll try and do a write up for it.
Anyway, guys, so stick with us. Had a lot of fun tonight. I mean, this is one of the greats, right? I mean, nothing negative in this entire movie, really. I mean, like I said, I would have adjusted a couple things just because, like, Exorcist was so fresh at this time and a couple other things. But really, at the end of the day, I mean, this is a flawless movie for what it was going for the tone, for the acting, and for having to roll with the punches for a couple of actors that died or had to leave the project. So I freaking love Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 2, I feel like nobody hates it, but I feel like nobody talks about it as much as the first one, and I don't really understand that. I feel like the magic is there. I feel like the chemistry's there. Like it's a little off because it's not a build up and a climax as easily. It's kind of an aftermath kind of a thing. So I don't understand the. I love the second one just as much as I love the first one. I think. I mean, obviously the first one's better, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the second one's just kind of. I mean, the first one tells a lot of different stories all wrapped into one, whereas the second one is just a sequel for sequel's sake in a way. It's it's not bad as far as sequels go. Like I would argue it's probably one of the better. It's not the rare occasion where the sequel's better, but it is a better sequel. I don't know. I feel like I watched it a lot less growing up. I still enjoy it. The Slime River always got me. I was like, ugh. I don't know why, but yeah.
Right. Right. Anyway, Jabari, thanks for hanging out with us as always. We
Thank
will be
you.
back with more stuff soon. Since we're taking off next week, I'm going to be working on some stuff, try to get ahead of things and try to figure some stuff out, try to position myself, get an outline going. So stick with us. We got a lot of stuff coming. Hopefully ramp this up, get some more like YouTube shorts maybe or something like that in there. I don't know. Kids get older and we get some more time. We'll see what happens. But thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. JK out.